This young man is a dope performer and promoter, and he's been busting his ass in the fucking open poetry scene for a number of years compared to his age. Please welcome to the stage, y'all, Ise Lyfe. Ise Lyfe to the stage.
My name is Ise Lyfe from East Oakland, California. Oakland.
Put my pen to the pad and begin to storm. Bad assistants hit the scene when I perform. See, I flow heavy, fly-footed, fresh and clean. Think I'm flying R&B, but please, I'm RBG. Call the doctor, I'm sick as fuck. Call weak rappers, 12 p.m., they out to lunch. I do this for the land where the oak trees grow. Riding slow with the doors open, fuck the pose. On wax with hard knock, yeah, I signed the deal. Took a little bit longer cause my shit is real. People say talking like this, I won't go pop. But baby, that's cool, I ain't trying to go pop. Plus half my city got gold teeth and locks. See the real shit coming whether you like it or not. So motherfuck anybody trying to knock our rush. I bet UEP and Malcolm would be down with us.
I spent the first 7 years of my life living with my mom, my father, my two little sisters. I have two younger sisters.
Isaac and Aaron got along, but
they fought a lot.
Me and him fought a lot. He used to always pick on me, especially in front of his friends.
We played this game called Drop in the Dookie. Can I tell that? Well, my grandma had a little small dog named Sam, and Sam would have her droppings in the backyard. And we had to drag her across the backyard to the dropping and dump her in it. And it was called Dropping the Dookies.
And then after I was dropping the dookie, that was the game.
And he actually loved that game. He always wanted to play it. And I don't know why. I guess it's just like a boy thing.
He wanted to drop me in the dookie, I guess.
My grandpa was a major influence in my life. Real like backbone. He didn't want to hear about me doing shit, but painting. And on the weekends and during the summertime, I would go with him. I'd be behind him painting or probably fucking up a wall, and he'd come back and patch it. Me, him, and my brother Mike.
It was weird. It was a lot different than how most people know him. He was very timid and he was like real shy, not really an outgoing person.
When I think about who I was as a kid, though, I was never like no rah-rah ass kid. And at that point, I was hella timid.
What are some things that people may see growing up in the cycle?
I see that in my students now, and I always wonder what it is they're going through. Because my teachers would have never thought that I was at home, you know what I'm saying, thinking about gunshots.
What are some other things you may see growing up in a home? Maybe not this home, but in the home of a cycle of violence.
When we moved to Brookfield, like when we left my dad, it was such a flip for me because I remember not really understanding like why that was. I think, I definitely remember like my pops being hella violent and having just a lot of trifling tendencies.
Essentially, it was just not a good situation. I guess that's an understatement. It was a bad situation, and it was really, about survival.
I grew up, you know what I'm saying, seeing my mom and my pops fight. And he was hella just like belligerent, even in how he would talk to us.
All I have is what I have doing my part. God send, I swear to God, I go in the dark. My mama named me after the son of Abraham. The only difference is my father never gave a damn. Beat me with fists and open hands, and I was supposed to understand being a man without ever seeing him.
Ise and his father, I don't think have ever really had a good relationship. His mother and his father were having like a lot of rough times.
For Isaac, there's also an element of rejection that was really hard for him in not having his father. And it also left him with the job of being the man of the house, which was just, huge shoes for him to attempt to fill.
Like I said, I didn't really understand it, you know what I'm saying? I would learn later though that my pops, the reason for being so off the hook and just kind of on the lameness he was, well, part of the explanation was that my father is addicted to drugs.
Maybe that TV show, What's Happening, we live in reruns. Reruns of guns, watch reruns of us run for police holding our grip. In a lot of ways, my father ran 6 years after 76, making the year I was born, leaving my mother torn, his father, my grandfather, held his body with panic. Imagine how I felt when I heard he was an addict. He OD'd in 93, and it's hard to conceive that my grandfather conceived a man that conceived a crackhead, my father conceived in me, and now ironically, instead of investigating me for selling hot and they investigate me for selling my people to be free.
My mother never was down for us going to school around here. K through 6. I went to Fruitville Elementary. It was there at that school that I would first begin to be interested in literature and poetry.
My name is Cherie Ivy, and I'm the principal of Fruitville Elementary School, and I have been here since 1978. The pictures on the wall represent everything since 1978 of different students, parents. Right here. Here he is. Here's Ice right here.
Remember each of these sections.
My name is Claire Stormer. I do remember Isaac. I remember him as Isaac. He was in my 6th grade class many years ago.
There wasn't some like epiphany moment where I was like, oh, and I started writing. I remember being in elementary school though, and I remember studying Langston Hughes and reading about Langston Hughes.
And that happened to be the piece we used for the Oratorical Fest. It was called Let America Be America Again.
Let America be America again. Oh, pioneers. Oh, I'm the man who, something about a ship. And I remember we won the competition. And that didn't really stand out to me. I think at the time it wasn't something like, whoa, but I do remember feeling validated and being about something that was a little bit different. And it's a trip because them same kids that was on stage with me, talking about Let America Be America Again, is the same cats I know now. A few of the cats that now they won't, hey, man, what you think about this? And they, whatever, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a trip as children we're so open, you know what I'm saying? And then the hood or just life or whatever, it just makes you whatever. Growing up as a youngster, it's like where I found hip hop. And then my mom had me when she was 21. So I mean, she was bumping when we was bumping. Think about it, my mom exposed me to a lot of like the more hardcore hip hop that I was listening to. She also taught us to like have a critical ear and separate what we was listening to from reality. And I think that did me good in the long run. By the time I was in junior high, I was writing my little raps, you know, my little bubblegum rhymes. I'm gonna get you, didn't think I could do it, did you? On the mic, I'm a survivor. My flows will chew you up and spit you out with my saliva. In the morning time, I come into the school, we used to have ciphers that we mimic, like the I Got 5 on the beat. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. I was probably 4'9", 3.5 size shoe, and I'd be in the cypher just going. And you drop a line and somebody would, and they pause on the beat and everybody be like, ooh, and that was my shit.
Sorry.
Well, he had his different stages of his life. At first, he was like a bully. And then junior high, he was this wannabe, suave, pretty boy, kind of, sort of, but just without the pretty boy attitude. And then in high school, I guess, no, he was a ladies' man in high school. Everybody
I was going to say, it wasn't that different from junior high.
He's always had a good deal of hustle about him. Isaac's always been able to make enough money to do what he wanted to do. And in fact, he felt a burden and wanted to help me out. Even selling candy. I mean, he sold candy with a 400% markup on the back of the bus.
You know what I'm saying? When I got into high school, I definitely wasn't writing poetry no more and nothing like that. I had started, the cat came to me in the hallway and told me I could buy an eighth for $30 and make 80 off it. And I was like, yeah, that's the business right there. And I got totally distracted. And then there was the concert. You understand, at this time, Cash Money was like God. Master P took it to one spot that was like hood rich. Cash Money took it to like, they totally sensationalized like and created a new standard for what it meant to be a baller. So Cats in the Street, they wanted diamonds in their teeth, not just gold. They wanted TVs in their headrests. We wanted an alligator in the back seat, alive, biting. You know what I'm saying? Alligator leather seats. I bought the 99 Shades on TV, I bought that. If I ain't a hot boy, then what do you call that? We was off that. And we get to the concert, and folks, okay, let me inform everybody. So here's the Oakland Coliseum, right? Now, the Oakland Coliseum from the blimp, it just looks like, like a Coliseum au contraire, mon frere. the Oakland Coliseum is between two ghettos. It is between and as I've traveled, I found that most stadiums are in the ghetto. But I think that's because then they hire people from the ghetto to work in them for low wages. Revolution. So here's the Coliseum, and on this side of the Coliseum is Brookfield, the neighborhood I grew up in. And on this side is the 6-9ville, the projects. You follow me? So that like this is what surrounds the Coliseum. So the concert really was a commercial, multi-million-dollar concert in the hood. So it's a given, you already know that this gonna be, I knew it was gonna be some kind of shit, but not like what went down. Our seats was for the floor, and it was like, fuck that. We went up to the second balcony, I already knew what was up. The lineup was Genuine, Eve, and Cash Money. Genuine came on stage, he was like, 9 o'clock! He spun around one time, they threw a bottle on the stage, and he was running off the stage. If I ever meet you, brother, don't think I'm dissing you, I'm just saying, we ran off the stage and they threw the bottle. The crowd was cash money, cash money, cash money, cash money, cash money. Then out of nowhere, like for no reason, I can't even tell you like why the fight started, but a fight just broke out. I remember this one cat was getting whooped so bad, like every time they hit him, it was like, ooh, 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 and like the crowd, we was really fucking like encouraging, like seeing a cat get beat on. The sickness in that we'll thrive and get juiced off seeing us kill each other. And so everybody's watching this thing and you just hear, and look up, and from the second balcony, they throw this dude. And this is in the Coliseum where the Warriors play at. And he was just falling like, and his body was just like, and he hit the seats, and he bounced off the seats, and he hit his neck on the cement, and it was quiet, and then it was screaming. By then, the police was in there. They was in riot gear on the stage, just standing there, though. And, like, folks just started running. We got in the car. We bounced on 880. There's so many motherfuckers on the freeway that the party was on the freeway. Nobody gets down how the town get down. I mean, it wasn't like some shit where you be at a large event and a motherfucker get whooped or killed and some people see it. The whole arena saw that shit, which means that the party that was going on the freeway was happening regardless of the fact that everybody had just seen this shit. I remember I was in the car and I remember just realizing that, like, I mean, I didn't feel no way about it. And so the turning point in my life wasn't seeing a brother get murdered. Like, it was something so traumatic that I just saw, and it just shell-shocked me into redemption. It was the fact that I was realizing that I saw something so heinous, and I didn't give a fuck. I think about why that is, and I think it's a certain point in your life where, like, when you grow up around a certain thing so much, you just get numb to it. I tell my kids all the time, my students, like if you pinch, if somebody pinches you, first you're like, But then if they keep on holding that space where they pinch you at in a minute, that area becomes numb. And they could poke you with a needle or prick you with a blade and you wouldn't even feel it. And I think that's what has happened to us as a people. Like, we've been around so much foulness that, like, first time somebody close to you die or you see them dead or murdered, it's like, after a while we just get numb to it. There's certain folks betting and counting on us remaining numb. I think a big part of this music that we're doing has to be about making us sensitive again to pain. And that was a turning point in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to be or what it was I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to die, though. And to me, dying didn't just mean like dying and being in a grave. Dying meant living and not having no fucking purpose to my life. And I wasn't with that. My brother got arrested, and that too made me think about, like, changing what it was I was doing.
There were a lot of different things that went on in my life that I made sure that he knew about so that he wouldn't have to go through them. Different run-ins in the streets with the law, all kind of stuff, just to make sure that he was aware that that stuff was out there, but at the same time to try and stop him from having to bump his head on the same walls that I bumped my head on. And I think a lot of it stuck with him. I think I've really shown Ice that you can really change your life. My life has done like a total 180 and is going in like the opposite direction. And I think that's a really positive influence on his life, because then he understands that not only within himself but within other people that he may see as lost, or he may think that they don't have a future, he can look at them and then look at me and say, well, he's turned his life around, so maybe that'll give him hope in somebody else.
You know, I had never heard of nobody being a poet for a living. I was still figuring out what I was gonna do with myself. I remember working at Eddie Bauer at home base. My first Square Bear job was working at Wendy's. I didn't even work in the you know, like the takeout window. I was like, I was eavesdropping. I had the headphones on, so when you order the number 3 with cheese and fries, when you say what drink you wanted, I listened to that shit and I'd fill up the drink. That was my job. And then I did something that wasn't cool, and this cat, the manager, like threw a caseload of potatoes at my feet. He was like, "You scrub these potatoes." Now I'm fresh off the fucking hood. What you mean I'm finna scrub? I mean, just the whole way he came at me like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. I was like, fuck you, I'm out. So now I'm like in the 11th grade, I guess. And I was on this like, I'm mad rampage, and I don't care what people think about what it is I have to say. While coming home from work one day, I wrote this poem called You Control You, about a girl I was going to high school with who I felt anyway not being true to herself. Hey girl, how you doing? I hope you being cool. I know you trying to be a lady, but you breaking some rules. Something like corny like that. But I wrote this poem, and my whole mission was I was gonna write this poem, I was gonna perform it at the Black History Assembly at my school. Not only that, the whole crowd was gonna boo me and laugh at me, and I was gonna further my fuck y'all, fuck everybody mission, because I'm different.
And I actually remember his first performance at Skyline High. He did, no, it was You Control You. And I had heard it before at home, and he read it to me off of paper, but I had never heard it with his, as far as like his speaking voice and him up there just kind of doing what he wanted to do. So
they called me out onto the stage, and the line was, so next time I see you acting fast, switching your hips, I'm gonna quote Apocalypse. And that's why they call you bitch, I bet you. And I stopped, and then later in the poem it goes, get yourself back on track, something, walk with a different kind of switch, and that's when they'll call you miss, I bet you. But it was this pause, and I was like, fuck. And I regretted it. I regretted bringing my dumb ass up there on the stage and saying anything. I was just like, fuck. And it was a pause, and then they went bananas. It was like, Wah! And that's when this Ise Lyfe shit started.
It's a habit. We don't call him Ice. We just call him Isaac.
My name is Ise Lyfe. I think Ice was just always short for Isaac growing up. It stuck though, because I used to get rolled on in the hood for being light skinned.
Your skin looks like this.
Oh. Call me pissy skin.
What y'all doing? Why y'all doing this? It's fucked up. Hollywood camera turned on. Time to down talk my brother.
And to make my life that much harder, some rap dude came out named Vanilla Ice. And the joke was, look at Ice. When I started, hitting the artist world and rhyming and all that, I was trying to come up with a name. I mean, I had partners around me and folks in the neighborhood that was named after whatever it was they was doing. A partner named Dub Sack, even a cat I went to school with named Killer. I remember, I didn't know what I was looking for. I had made a conscious decision that I was gonna live, so I was living for life, and that's kind of how it came together. Ise Lyfe.
I think it was like when he was either the end of his 11th grade year or the beginning of his senior year. He started getting into more of the poetry and poetry slams, and his friends weren't into those types of things, probably because it wasn't the thing to do. But so he had to go through his friends like saying he was changing or he wasn't the same because he wasn't doing the things that they were doing. I'm pretty sure he lost some friends over that.
It was kind of like a good, look at all this attention thing at first, and then once I started realizing that people were treating him differently, or people that I saw him with, sometimes they kind of talk behind his back about it, or girls would be talking about what the guys at school said about him, and I think it might have been a little bit hard on him because people thought he was doing it for other people, and like you said, trying to get girls or trying to impress people. But Isaac, he always stood out to me.
I started performing at this spot on Lakeshore in Oakland called the Java House. It was like a coffee house, poetry spot with a real kind of like black folk community vibe to it though. You know, essentially now it's like a pizza parlor. They moved and now like it's a Razzo's pizza spot. But it was the spoken word culture that exposed me to being about shit but being fly at the same time. I put my name on the list, and Greg Bridges, who I didn't know, who now is a good friend of mine, he actually has an interlude on the album. I remember him taking a notepad and looking at my name and being like, coming next to the stage is Ise Lyfe. Remember that, Greg?
I believe I called him something like Izzy or Is or Issy. You know, it was a total butcher job. I do remember that.
Like that was it. And I got up there, and by now I was a little versed, a little seasoned, and I rocked it. I started performing locally. Like I said, going around like I was at the Java House and entering different youth poetry slams. At the same time, going back when I was in the 9th grade, freshman year of high school, this dude, Victor Duarte, turns out that this dude ended up being, during that time, one of my closest homies. Vic introduced me to work he was doing with an organization called Youth Together. They were doing social justice work in the schools, in high schools. At the time, it felt way too square for me. But Vic was always in my ear, always in my ear about different shit. We decided we was gonna start our organization. We were gonna start a group called the Power Movement.
Power was established by a brother named Ise Lyfe, of course, and our homie Victor Duarte. Power is an acronym for people organizing with each other for a revolution.
It was a blend, like from what I learned doing like oratorical fests and things like that, and ciphering on the streets, where we'd have like this ghetto street theater classroom presentation where we talk about the cycle of violence, we talk about the role of the police in our communities, but we use spoken word and hip hop to engage folks with that.
So the whole program was trying to bring back this popular conscious into the community, and we were just trying to do our part.
We met people that would later become my crew, like the Attic. That's the Boy Elephant and Dak.
The Attic is a group of 3 MCs. With one DJ, 3 MCs. Got Do That, Elephant, Anansi, he's a producer also. And then also Treat You Nice, who's the DJ. He's not here right now, but he enjoys his sleep having me Ice. First contact with Ice was probably with we were with this organization called Youth Together that worked in the various high schools in Oakland, Berkeley, and Richmond. And so at the time, me and Amani were at the Berkeley Youth Together, and Ice was at the Skyline Youth Together. So Ice, right? Oh shit. Ice, he had this curl, right? When I first met him, he had this curl, it looked very juicy, very moisturized. He claims it was hair lotion, whatever. Either way, it was still a curl.
Hair lotion, that's curl.
Yeah, and then he had these Nike foam posits that were powder blue. Then he had the powder blue sweats with the powder blue sweater, and then with the small diamond in his ear. When I first met him, I was like, oh, pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? And then to come and learn that, he had a personality beyond his powder blueness and his curl.
Okay, so going off of the curl thing, right? So me and Ice used to live together, right? Episode all over the song, right? He had the curl and shit, right? Swear to God, but I came into his room one time. And like, look behind this door, there's a big ass picture. Craig David look just like him. Our life size.
I don't live like Craig David. Look at me.
And then so one night I come in late, I had company, and we walked into my room and closed the door. And I think it used to be a mirror on the back of the door. There used to be a mirror on the back of the door. I closed the door behind me, and the sister turned around in the bedroom and started rolling. And I looked, and this fool had put a poster of Craig David on my door. He got up out of a Word Up magazine.
Now what you got to understand before you really think about this is Ice is an actor along with the poet. So, he takes stories and switch them around. Well, I had nothing to do with that poster.
Yeah, right.
On the back of your door.
He said I had a Craig David.
There's nothing wrong with Craig David.
Dad used to wash his hair with bar soap.
That's why it looks like that.
And that's been
The pleasure in knowing Ise Lyfe.
And he's always been like organizing and about building community. Like when we were in high school, we started, he had started and then kind of brought us on board and we all grew it up together. The power movement, since 17, 18, not doing it for college credits or anything else, but this is what we saw was needed in the community in our lives, and so we were getting up trying to do something, and just that alone was an incredible experience and was necessary to have, especially because it was during the time when the murder rates were rising in Oakland, where our classmates were being popped and getting murdered, and gave us something to be about, something to do, something to take action in the midst of all this madness that was going on in our lives.
I guess as a young age, we were like really influenced by like the Black Panther Party and how they established their movement. We were trying to be real militant with it.
Yeah, it was also a sense of family, Like it was, aside from the organizing, we had family through it.
But at the same time, it was our will to do it, but we felt obligation to do it.
It was a definite learning experience. It was a definite place for growth. And it was, for me, I'll speak for me, it was a definite place, good place for me to be, you know what I mean? Just, like I've learned more from my conversations with the people sitting on the steps and just people I encounter in my day-to-day than I did at any school. You know what I mean? Worthwhile lessons anyway.
It's time to make my move.
Come on!
What's up? This is DJ Treat You Nice, and I am Ise Lyfe's DJ. Ice is a very, very smart, very direct, very honest, and there's only one Ice so far that I've met. Working for Ice is kind of difficult at times, but most of the time I work with him and not for him, so that's a little, then it's like both of us. Like when we're on stage, if I fall, he'll pick me up. If he falls, I'm right there to pick him up. And when neither of us fall, then it's just even more better. I think that's good. I think the reason I'm his DJ and the reason he does what he does is because he wants to bring this message to the masses, because it's part of like a solution. Or like the message he wants to bring across. So of course we want to bring it to as many people as possible.
All grace, all love, no dinner wait. 5 bringing light to the lit. We knew Bush wasn't shit before the hurricane hit.
We went to the Java House, and this dude walks up to me and goes, "Hey man, what's your name?" And when I go to introduce myself, he's like, "Ise Lyfe." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And I didn't know who he was, and he gave me his card. His name is Bill Evans. He's the West Coast regional marketer for Def Jam. I lied. I said I was 21. I was 18. I would go on the road and produce like the official Ja Rule Def Jam after party in Bakersfield. I started like getting dough, and I'd come back home, and then we would use that like whenever we wanted to do a urban thought, hip hop, poetry slam. I would pay to rent out the venue. On the road was different though. Nobody was trying to see no poetry event. It had to be a foam party or a thong contest attached to the parties. And we'd be in the classroom talking about sisters respect yourself. Morally it was fucked, but I never been down to contradict myself. Not knowingly anyway. And I quit. I think it was the first man decision I ever made in my life. I quit though, and I found myself just kind of stuck, like fuck, what am I finna do? With hella energy though, I want to be free. It was around then with hella time on my hands because I had lost my job that I just started focusing on writing. I started writing a lot, and I started getting known around Oakland.
What's up, bro? Chilling?
It was like, that's Ice. And then I decided that I wanted to start recording, but I didn't just want to do poems. I wanted to bust. I wanted to like a hard ass hip hop record. When I would tell people that, hey, yeah, I'm doing a hip hop record, they're like, it ain't just poetry. I'm like, nah, it's rapping too. Like, folks would give me the kind of fake ass support face, the Mona Lisa smirk. Like, yeah, that's tight. You know what I'm saying? So I think that drove me want to push it forward even more.
Hot damn, here I am, tear a hole in the road. No clan, no man could put a stone on our road. Cause we out on some next level drama, we understood. Rolling with our canned goods, wishing the motherfucker would. Anyway, back to the table. We spitting real fatal, dato, right through the cable. Haters stole bleach, but we unfadeable. Most shit on the radio ain't even playable.
That summer, I met these two brothers, Turha Ak, Che Tafari. At a Lil Bobby Hutton day at a park, me and Vic, I had my pit with me. And we walking through the park. The sister walks up on me, who was actually Turha's wife. And she's telling me about the event, and I peep him from behind. Big swole neck brother. Like, just kind of checking out what's going on. And, she was telling me about the event, and I gave her our flyer, she gave me hers. He'll deny this to this day. Ask him about it, though. He'll deny this to the day. He'll say, but this is what happened. She was like, so they were having a culture event, and I was like, I do a little spoken word myself. And she was like, really? Are you good? And I was like, I'm all right. She was like, well, you should come through. And she invited me to come through. And as they're walking away, so we start to walk this way, but I got my ear to the streets. So we watching, I'm listening with my ear, watching with my ear. I hear him ask her, so, hey, who's that? And she's like, oh, he said that he could do that he might come through and perform at the event. He might be tight. Until I go, well, he could be a bitch. It's like one of my closest homies now, you know what I'm saying? He be denying that shit, though. And I know when you ask him, he's going to say he didn't say it, but he said that shit. So anyway, him and Che turned out on the low. They wasn't telling me, but they get down, too. And these are some brothers that been putting it down in the community on the level for a long time, and but on the low they rhyme. So anyway, Ty and Che, I was telling them, I was like, man, I'm trying to find a space to record this record. And they're like, man, we know this cat. He's got a studio in Frisco. He's tight. You know what I'm saying? You should link up with him. And I started recording my album at Hyde Street Studios. I was on my way to go to the studio in the city. I was on a BART train, and this girl got on a BART train. She was like 13, and she had this boombox blasted. Lick my pussy and my crack. Cause she was bumping that shit. And I think that's the danger in it. I mean, it's all good. I like sex. There should be songs about being attracted to somebody. If drugs exist, there should be songs about drugs, because music art is a documentation of the time. But these babies be listening to whatever it is we say. Some rapper on the radio could put out a song, lima beans, I love lima beans, and Brussels sprouts, woo woo. And kids will be in the lunch line asking for Brussels sprouts. Brother Cameron got the whole hood wearing pink. Like, what hip hop is that powerful? Whatever it is that the cat online at the time is saying he's doing or it's tight, that's what's gonna be accepted. And not only is that what's gonna be what's accepted, but that's gonna be the standard for how cool you are. And as a response to my pussy and my crack, I had an idea, I wanted a beat that was like, do, boom, do, my feet, my ankles, my knees, my legs, I walk with these, my stomach, my chest, my upper torso. But I left Hyde Street. I just kind of was stuck in limbo. And I get a call one day from Hard Knock Radio saying that some dude had called up about, he wanted my number, might not give him my email. So he emails me, he's like, hey. Now I read the email like, hey, yo, what's up? My name is Matt Price. Actually, the email said, hi, my name is Matt. I do music. I'd like to see if there's a way we can work together. I arranged the time to go meet him. He opens the door. It's one of the squarest white boys I've ever seen in my life. And I kept a straight face, but I remember my mind thinking, whoa. You know what I'm saying? But in contrast to what I pictured a brother with a blunt and a beanie, and it was like a white dude with a pocket protector and some glasses on. And I came in, and to be honest, it was like, it was straightforward. Dude was like, I like your stuff. I asked him if he'd be down to record some of my shit because it wasn't working out in San Francisco. He was like, yeah. We scheduled a session, and we didn't even talk about the money of it yet. I got some beats that I had. He gave me some beats that he had. We started recording, spread the word.
Break it down, Matt.
I call the album Spread the Word because I think that's what it's for. I think the word, when we think about the word, not in a religious sense, but how the word is like the gospel. And what is gospel? Gospel is a testament of the times. That's what I wanted it to be. I also wanted it to so I wanted to spread what was going on with us in this time. And at the same time, I wanted it to spread the word about me as an artist.
My name is Errol Jackson, and I co-manage Ise Lyfe. The name of our company is called For Artist Management Group. I pretty much deal with Ice's day-to-day business. I help shape or enhance his vision. The one thing about it, if you know anything about Ice is pretty much his own person, and that is a plus in a lot of ways, and it's challenging in other ways. But at the end of the day, it's exciting because you're dealing with someone who's so multi-talented in so many different areas of his career, who knows exactly what he wants, the impact he wants to have, and how he wants those things to come across.
Let's go it up.
What's up with it, man? You know what I'm saying? Dirty Mac, you know what I'm saying? I'm here with Ice, you know what I'm saying? This is Ghetto Poet right here. The real nigga, man. Real nigga do real things. I remember that, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bro? You good, bro? Love you, bro.
Good to see you, man. Be safe, man. Peace. What influences my lyrics is it's us. I learn from the resilience of our people, how no matter what it is we go through, like, we bounce back. I remember looking at footage from Hurricane Katrina. Folks was dancing, like, we bounced back, like, instantly. Women are very inspired and motivated and moved and grooved by women.
My mother was a woman. She is a woman. My two little sisters are girls. I came from a woman. They came from women. My mother was a woman.
Wait, he don't care about the chin.
My crew gives me a hard time about this. I'm just very moved by women. I enjoy the company of women. I enjoy the honesty. Again, I find the same resilience. Almost any sister I've ever met, sisters you talk to, don't matter if they're supermodels, lawyers, school teachers, have incredible stories of survival and endurance that I think is amazing. And I'm drawn to that. Women is a song dedicated to the strength of women. I don't think we really understand, like, the weight that women carry. I don't understand it. I don't think there's a way to understand it.
And I hope those involved are really hearing this. I've experienced how you know what my name is, but on the low you never know where her life is.
I mean, you know, a woman that's like, you know, full of smiles and laughs, and you know, and then you find out that she just been through the craziest of shit. And I took 3 stories. The first story is about my mom. My mom would tell me stories about, like, her stepmom kicking her out the house when she was 8 years old, and my mom would wait for a car to park coming home from work, and then she'd lay under the car because it was still warm under the car. The second story is about a mentor of mine, and the third about a friend of mine that that I was real cool with, and just the hidden pain that all 3 of those women in my life deal with. They don't ever complain, don't ever bring it up, don't ever. And in light of what happened to my other friend, I just felt like it was time to address that. Sometimes you can find a way to cry for people through songs.
I mean, I don't even know if people notice it because sometimes it's kind of subtle, but he shouts women out all the time, you know, because he loves them, and he has a love and a respect for women that I admire so much, and I don't know where it came from, and I don't know why everybody doesn't have it. Not to say it shouldn't be there. I'm glad it's there, but it's amazing. I think Ice loves women more than they love themselves, and that's what makes them love him.
Like there's definitely the shit that you see on stage, and then like when you just get to talk to them. Like women, a lot of women want to be like, damn, Ise Lyfe. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a hype. So you have to be guarded against that, I suppose.
We put out the album independently first. I pressed up 1,000 because that was the smallest amount I could press up. We've sold over 6,000 copies independently out the stores before my deal with Hard Knock Records. But I think the success lies, to me, not in how many records we've sold, but how many folks I think have been affected by this record before its commercial release.
Rena Stone, 15. Overall, I say that I try to help my community become more sustainable, because now I have this new knowledge that I can go and tell other people about because of Ice.
And I know that you're beautiful.
He tells girls in one of his songs that they're beautiful, and a lot of girls need to understand that, and I think that helped me get through a lot of days.
She look in the mirror, see the eyes, lips, and nose. She look in the mirror, she don't see her soul. So out there how she go, not knowing her worth. All that she know is her shoes match her.
Like when I'm mad and I want to run away, or even like if I want to commit suicide or something like that, I can just like put on my DVD of him or put on my music of him. I just listen to him and I get through the day better.
And after a while, she start thinking it's true. Somebody say, "What's up, bitch?" She say, "Nothing, nigga. What's up with you?" See, this is for the niggas and this is for the bitches. The angry niggas and angry bitches. But we think we niggas and bitches is how they never did this. We think we niggas and bitches is how they never did this.
I hope to create a popular culture of consciousness, to make it cool to be right, to make it safe on this side of things, and blow doing it. I definitely don't ever want to be pinned as some like conscious rapper or some conscious artist, or let our music be deemed as the movement. It's not the movement, it's the soundtrack to
I
it.
really hope that y'all can see that this poetry and rhyming that we doing ain't the movement, it's the soundtrack to it. Follow me.
I feel like our message needs to be on the mainstream side of shit, so that's where we gotta be at. So-called commercial cats will be like, oh, y'all are on that backpack conscious shit. And so-called conscious people will look at people and be like, oh, y'all are on that commercial shit. That's bullshit. It's a family. When I go to my family reunion, I got a drunk-ass uncle that I might not necessarily be proud of, but at the same time, that's my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no disownership of this culture. So I feel like not only as an artist do I want to be mainstream, but I want the culture that I'm a part of to be mainstream. The village drinks from the mainstream that goes to the community. They don't drink from the puddles and the, you know, the conscious back river. The village drinks from the mainstream. So I want the village taken from us. So I want to be a part of the mainstream.
Life in the ground, the turf, cause it hurts to see a king live his life as a slave. How we scared to leave a hood instead of a grave. I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back again. European nations kill Africans, and through the bullshit we will survive, and I don't give a motherfucker about a Reagan just died.
The conscious movement. I don't think there is a conscious movement. I think there's a sporadic fed upness, tired of this shitness, what the fuckness of a movement. But I don't think there's like a conscious, organized movement. And I think both are necessary. We need folks that like get mad at how fucked up the planet is right now, and then come together and facilitate that anger and organize that anger towards something to make real tangible change. And we can't be driven or fueled by anger. It's got to be love for our people that makes us move forward. We can't be smashing because we hella mad. We got to be smashing because we're in love with ourselves and we won't tolerate nothing but the best for ourselves.
Say right. So to the other night, alone on a late night. So I turned on the tube, 11 o'clock news. Y'all, they talk about the murder rate. Say the police gonna investigate. But you know, I don't believe it. These pigs don't give a shit. When people of color get shot, stabbed, you see them at the crime scene, they smile, they laugh, but the news don't cover that. They cover the story of a white woman in the valley who lost her cat. Say fuck that cat. Say fuck that cat. And I'm living for the day that the whole world is going did it in.
I go for the album was to make something to challenge all the regular whack shit that's out. Hell of the song is just like reactions to whack ass shit that's on the radio. You put out a movie called Malibu's Most Wanted, I'm gonna make a song called Culture Vulture. You put up another liquor store in the community, I'm gonna put out a song that says steal shit out the liquor store. You put, you know what I'm saying?
Culture vultures on the loose. They take your culture, steal it, put it on the shelf and sell it back to you. Putting price tags on things that are priceless or plans so scandalous. Look how they devise it. Culture vultures sit in trees watching you and me. Culture vultures love the way we walk, love the way we eat. Culture vultures love the way we talk, love the way we speak. Yes, they love it. Feel like they gotta have some of it. Peck at it, fuck it up, they put it in their stomach. Yeah! Swoop down on us like vultures. Everybody wanna emulate black, brown, yellow, red coaches and flown.
Culture Vultures is a poem. Well, there's a skit and there's a poem. But Culture Vultures is about what is a vulture. A vulture is something that eats and nourishes itself off the death of another creature. And so these corporations, they see crack being sold in the streets, and they're like, yeah, like, how can I eat off of this? Well, I know I'm gonna put out somebody and put millions of dollars behind them to talk about the death, to promote death. I'm gonna profit off of that. White folks are funny. You know, like, I realize something too, it's offensive to people when I say, like, white people are funny because I'm not a comedian. Like, if I was on a comic view and I was like, white people are funny, everybody like, ah, and white people like, oh yeah, I'm funny. When I say no, like, white folks is funny, like, steal your culture, say that shit is theirs and sell it to you, ha, like funny style, it becomes offensive because I'm not a comedian. Black people are always offensive when we're not okay to laugh at. And that's what the Culture Vulture piece is addressing.
So the gifted stay poor while the vultures get richer. Been going on for how long? You think Elvis Presley was till Little Richard? Vanilla Ice. Eminem. Some things shouldn't be bought, shouldn't be sampled, shouldn't be tampered with. My culture's on the soundtrack here for you to sample it.
It's a real weight put on when you're in a relationship, or when you're whether it's a family relationship or a personal love relationship, that makes it hard with this type of career and this type of life, because you're just buoyant. You're always moving around. It's weird because I'm so engaged with so many different communities, with management and the record label and my crew. I have like another family, but I struggle with staying connected to my family, and that means a lot to me, and I need them to know that.
I think he's try harder to make sure he comes by and he sees us more and he tries to spend time with us, but really he's just too busy. So we see him when we can, but I miss him. I miss him all the time.
Okay, so we had to get this. So it's early Saturday morning. My little sisters are in the house. My little sister Connie. This one listen to ear. Here's the camera. She has a body other than she's not just head.
And you know what's funny? We were just saying he moved out 4 years ago. Ice's mail still comes here. So I remember he told my mom at one point that he wanted his mail to come here so that he can make sure he got over here sometimes. And she joked with him like, you know, we should be a reason for coming over. But I kind of feel like that is what he meant. You know, he's kind of leaving a piece of him here or something, so that we'll always know, maybe a reassurance for us that he's coming. You know, even if we see it, oh, his registration is here, his check is here, he's coming. But
parking tickets.
Parking tickets. But yeah, I miss him all the time, and it's kind of hard. I never like to turn anything that's going on with Ice into me, but it's like we are such a tightly knit family that we affect each other. And you know, Ice went from having 2 little sisters to hundreds of little brothers and sisters because he takes care of so many people. It's so many kids in Ice's life now, and he's really young. I remember he was only 17, I would say, when we all started noticing this new stuff he was doing. But I really think he was doing it long before that. Just not really sure how people would accept it or what he was going to do with it. He has a talent and he has a drive and he has a dream that he didn't really, I don't think he knew was there, and he didn't know how to handle it. And once he started to explore it, it affected everybody. And I mean, he's an adult, so of course he's going to be around less than when we were kids, and we don't live together, but doing what he does keeps him away longer, and I do miss him all the time. And sometimes I don't want to share him sometimes, because I feel like, you know, we're all kind of one. All my mom's kids, we grew up together, and we're all intertwined in a way. And it's kind of like me and Connie and my mom, we made that boy. That's our boy, you know. And then he goes out there and they reap the benefits. You know, I'm jealous sometimes, but he's here for us. You know, as even if we don't see him physically, sometimes he's always here for us. I know he always will be. Hope he misses me too sometimes, but yeah, we miss him. We definitely miss him.
This last song is the honor that we find just the way we are. All the voices that feed us all the time. There's nothing wrong with the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we look, the way our hair is, the way we rap, the way we rhyme. Fuck the dumb shit. If you love yourself, make some noise.
I don't necessarily look at Ice as an artist, more so as I look at him as an entity, because he speaks so very loud to the community, as well as trying to get the message even higher and develop on a much larger scale.
Because he is like about what he talks about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking to him one time and I was like, man, it's a trip how it's good to actually be about what you talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats be out there talk about, I'm shooting this, I'm killing that, I'm fucking her, this and that, boom, boom. And it's nice to be like talking about, you know what I'm saying, making change and being about this and explaining what you see on your day to day and like working in the community, you know, helping people out and like really be about that and really be like, you know what I'm saying, like you can definitely see what he's talking about. You go to Brookfield to see what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And it's tight. It's definitely fresh.
I think that the album is a documentation of me from my teenage years all the way up to when I was 21 years old. So I think it has all of that in there. It has pain, it has hardness, it has softness, it has life. My next album will be called Slave Revolt. Slave Revolt is the name of my next album. I just signed a record deal with Hard Knock Records. Hard Knock Records is putting out Spread the Word. That's the business.
We are the answer. Young with hoodies and denim, spoken word, poetically spit venom, our ability to wreck shit and absolute giving. Therefore, we are the answer and the most absolute threat. In East Oakland, a 15-year-old boy runs faster than his own sweat. Through a yard, over a fence, he runs hard, oh my God, and he is free at last, because police are fat and slow. Schools fail at teaching us shit we already know, so we write our own poems, reading books at home. Backpacks be empty, but they match our clothes, though. Leaving them books at home, because them textbooks be fat, but slow. Turn up the radio, the beats be fat, but the raps be slow. The beats be fat, but the raps be slow. I roll out, eyes open, hood still the same, everything smoking. Rocks, blocks, guns in the track. Systematic death traps, seem like it's no get back. Of course it is, but it's all on us. Skies start falling, it fall on us. I got a bag of poems, gun in my crew, 100 forces against us, only one thing to do. But what to do when nobody tripping? Death clock ticking, but the rim still spinning. Spinning, spinning, spinning. Death clock ticking, but the rim still spinning. Spinning, spinning. Crack been around more than 20 years. 20-year high make it hard to get clear. D-boys high work inside of their coats. D-boys get smoked, bullets explode in their throat. STD widespread, piss burning urinal. Baby girl innocent, but we having a funeral. All I have is what I have, doing my part. God saying, glow in the dark. Ever seen a heroin addict? Holes in her shoes, no front tooth, her clothes tattered. But it don't matter cause nobody tripping anyway. She could die any day. Fools who serve her, they ain't got nothing to say. All they knew is her favorite thing to do is take the heroin out the balloon, put the flame under the spoon, put the needle in the bubbles and fill her body with mud puddles. She blown away.
She live in an alleyway eating cocaine goods. For money, got her lips wrapped around some manhood. Can't no rapper make it sound good. We dying, cuz. Nobody to blame. Us is us. How our people go from fighting for freedom to acting dumb for free. We are the answer.